This clip here was absolutely shocking to me. Stuart Varner, the very arrogant Fox Business host, he interviewed Ryan Walters, who's Oklahoma's superintendent of public instruction. So this guy has a position of authority vis-a-vis education. And this guy's going to drop a bomb in the conversation, being like, theocracy? I think it's kind of based. I think we should be, a Christianity-based society, Bible in school, all that stuff. And, usually Stuart Varney and all these Fox hosts, they're down with the cause. They will roll with it, theocratic ideas, oligarchic ideas, they're for it. But in this instance, Varney actually is stunned, and he's shocked at what this guy proposes. And there's actually a little bit of pushback, so this is interesting. Watch this.
And instead of allowing Biden and the unions to inject their ideology through graphic pornography like genderqueer and flamer, we want the Constitution, we want the Bible in our schools where kids understand our nation's history and what has made this country great.
So you actually want to not put the Bible in schools, but teach from the Bible in schools, which is something which I think the Supreme Court ruled against many, many years ago.
Well, yes, sir, and we need to take a look at this. The reality is the Bible is a foundational document in our country's history. Read the founders, read their letters, listen to what these men and women said about why founding a country with the freedom of religion, the free exercise of religion was so important.
It's so ironic that he said, read the founders' letters, because it was a letter from Thomas Jefferson where he came up with the phrase separation of church and state. Many of the founding fathers were not Christians. They were deists, which is basically the idea that there's like a God and it's a universal God, but it's not the God of any particular religion. Like a God created everything and then, peaced out. The First Amendment sets up a secular government. There can be no, you can't establish a religion, basically. So we have a separation of church and state. We have a secular government. And he's out here saying, teach the Bible in schools? And even Stuart Varney was shocked. Because look, if you tell me, hey, in the school library, the Bible is available, then that's like, I'm totally fine with that. In fact, I support it. I would be against it if somebody tried to pull it out of there, right? I think the Quran should be available, the Bhagavad Gita, whatever. It's a book. But if you tell me teach it in class as if it's true, that's crazy. And that's what this guy's saying. And even Stuart Varney had to call him out on it. Even Stuart Varney was like, this is like wildly unconstitutional, right? Here, let's go back to it.
So you actually want to not put the Bible in schools, but teach from the Bible in schools, which is something which I think the Supreme Court ruled against many, many years ago.
Well, yes, sir, and we need to take a look at this. The reality is the Bible is a foundational document in our country's history. Read the founders, read their letters, listen to what these men and women said about why founding a country with the freedom of religion, the free exercise of religion was so important.
First of all, the Bible is not a founding document for our country. Second of all, he was just talking earlier about, bro, the Democrats want like pornography in the classroom or whatever. Gross, gross, gross. First of all, they don't want that. Second of all, the Bible has pornography in it. Apart from the genocide and the raging violence, go read the story of Lot. That is a terrifying story. You have Lot's daughters get him drunk and then try to rape him. And this, we could go on and on about all the depravity in the Bible. The Good Liars, those guys, the Good Liars, did a really interesting and funny thing where they went, I think, to a Trump rally and they described some of the sex in the Bible, and they didn't tell people it was from the Bible. And they described, hey, should that be allowed in the classroom? And it was like, no, definitely not, bro, definitely not. And then they're like, hey, do you think the Bible should be allowed in? They're like, absolutely. It's from the Bible. It's from the Bible. Look, there has been a resurgence of Christian fundamentalism, and I don't know if this is the last gasps of a dying ideology or if it's a revival and they're really going to ride another wave. But, I mean, you see this with the fundamentalists of all different stripes over at the Daily Wire. You got Ben Shapiro, who's a Jewish fundamentalist. You got Michael Knowles, who's a Christian fundamentalist. Matt Walsh, Christian fundamentalist. And, I hope it's not the beginning of a just as extreme a revival. But we're already seeing it. Michael Knowles was going after condoms the other day, saying it's gay, saying there is no legal right to a condom. You shouldn't be allowed to have a condom. If the government wants to ban it, they should be allowed to ban it. Like, really, this is where we're at? We are regressing this much. The numbers on gay marriage, it used to be 49% of Republicans supported gay marriage. It plummeted to 41% in a very short time span. Why? Because now they're leaning into the anti-gay hatred again. I mean, look, this is where we're at, man. Now you got people arguing on Fox News like, obviously we should teach the Bible in class, bro. Obviously. This was settled so long ago. This was said, of course, unconstitutional. I love how he says we need to teach the Bible and the Constitution. So teach the Bible, and the thing that says you shouldn't teach the Bible is basically what he's saying. Come on, man. Come on. When you shock even Stuart Varney with your theocratic ideas, man, you know you went super duper far. Because Stuart Varney is, I mean, he's the type to sit there and just nod in agreement with almost any crazy bullshit you say. But even he was like, God damn, son, you're trying to create the Christian Taliban or Christian Saudi Arabia over here? This is wild. And I hate how they try to reclaim U.S. history as if it's with them when it most clearly is not. All right, guys, that's the show. Love y'all very much, as always. Everybody do me a big favor. Click like, click subscribe, all that fun stuff. Click that bell icon so you get a notification every time a video drops. Remember, guys, you can listen to the full audio version of this show on Spotify if you'd like to. Some people like listening to the audio podcast over watching the YouTube videos. Thank you to all the Patreon supporters. Thank you to everybody who tips on YouTube. You guys are awesome, man. You keep this show going. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser. I'm very proud of that. If you want to support the show, look below. Patreon link is there. Also, you can just click that thanks button and donate a tip if you'd like. And what else I got for you? Oh, yeah, Crystal Kyle and Friends. Check it out. We're going to be interviewing and potentially debating Congressman Ro Khanna this week. That'll be fun. So the link to the Substack for that is below. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. I'm out. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.